Hey everybody, it's John Barrowman here, and you are listening to Tomorrow's Legends with Martin the Flash, Harley Quinn, and X-Force 11. Now you all may know me as playing Malcolm Merlin, and here's a little something for you. Every warrior must learn the simple truth that pain is inevitable, suffering is optional.
In 2016, a new TV show hit the digital airwaves and needed a podcast dedicated to chronicling its adventures. An elite team has been assembled for this task. Unfortunately, the world's listeners have not heard of this Wonder Twin duo. And although they may not be known now, in the future they will be referred to as Tomorrow's Legends.
Excellent work. Your mission is complete. And as a reward, you'll receive upgrades. But first, you must remove your CPUs.
What?
And now, here are your hosts, the Scarlet Speedster himself, the Flash, the Maid of Mischief Harley Quinn, and the Blue Beacon of Hope, X-Force 11.
Welcome to Tomorrow's Legends. We are stuck in the fixed point trying to find a way out, and apparently we may be androids.
Yes. No?
It is episode 11, Rage Against the Machines. I guess that's us tonight, which was directed by Co-Captain Sharp, Just McCallan. I am the glitching Flash.
I'm the angry, disappointed, I'm not really sure, Harley Quinn.
And I am the unhopeful X-Force 11.
Oh, no.
Hello, Legends.
I'm worried about Gideon right now. Have we been podcasting all this time thinking we're normal, and it turns out we've been replaced by podcasting robots?
Mind blown.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I can use a robot to kind of help me out on my work, but
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I am the robot.
yeah.
When it gets late.
See, all this stuff has to come into question. All right, let's get to some news.
We interrupt this podcast for a special report.
So, thanks to Dreamweaver for posting this in the Facebook group, the Entertainment Weekly article that tells us that Donald Faison, aka Turk from Scrubs, has been cast in a unnamed role for the season finale, and the kind of description is he's a character who admires the legends and seeks fame, fortune, and glory. So the speculation is that he will be playing Booster Gold, and that if we get a Season 8, that he will be continuing into Season 8. He was originally supposed to be playing the Professor in the live-action Powerpuff Girls series, and so he's got a contract with the CW, so they're kind of seeing where they can fit him in, and so I like it. I like the actor. I think this would be fun to have a Booster Gold on the series, and I could really see him and maybe Nate teaming up and doing some stuff. So I'm thinking this could be very interesting.
I think that's a fun idea. Booster Gold was always a bit of a comical relief on the Justice League cartoons, and it'd be cool. I mean, that actor, I think, suits the role. I think he could pull it off for sure, and it'd be fun. I mean, if that speculation comes true, it'll be really, really fun. It just sounds like fame, fortune, and glory. I mean, they're pretty much writing Booster Gold, right? So, but you never know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just. But who knows? It'll be fun.
Yep.
I love the actor, so I'm excited regardless. I don't know all that much about Booster Gold, but I know that for a while there was speculation about something with him and Rip Hunter, like way back, like in seasons 1 and 2, that never kind of came about. So it'll be interesting if they do end up bringing a version of Booster Gold in, for sure.
Yeah. Right, I remember there being something about that coming out way back then.
Yeah,
I don't remember the details though.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the next piece of news is a little bit of ratings. So the ratings for the CW for the week. So the winners of the week are the two shows that we podcast on. So Superman and Lois got 781K or a 0.1 demo, and then Legends got 640 also in the 0.1. So the Legends is up, and so that's good. I'm glad that the ratings came up and before the little break, so that's a good thing.
And you're talking about after this episode we're going to talk about tonight, the ratings, or is this from last?
This is the episode we're talking about tonight.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good. And Superman, so they're still hanging on. They're not quite at 1 million viewers, 780,000. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's okay, but hopefully that's good enough to continue to get renewed for these shows.
Yeah.
We've been under 1 million for a while. The CW has
On
been
Legends, yes, but
suffering. Yeah.
I mean, that's why we've been surprised that Legends keeps getting renewed, because they've dropped down to like 400,000 a few times. So
They've dropped low. Yeah, so this is definitely up, the 640,000 for sure. I haven't looked in a while, but I'm glad it's up.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, good stuff. That's fun news indeed. Well, let's get to our ratings.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe.
All right, I'm curious where you guys landed on this one.
Okay, so this is challenging ep. I gave this one 7 cliffhangers, and I enjoyed some of the aspects of this episode. I enjoyed Gwen's leadership. I liked the kind of plans gone crazy and the Legends have to adapt aspect. And those were the things I liked. I was not happy at all that we got a cliffhanger to end, before our little break. But I understand they're trying to get people interested and keep watching after the break. But I really didn't like that there was not nearly enough Thawne, a quick resolution to the Guardian of the Fixed Point issue, and it just felt rushed. I know that they have 2 episodes left, but the back half of this season has really been rocky. And let me just say this: if something happens to Human Gideon, I will riot.
I think we all will. We all will. So yeah, I'm not too far off of you. I gave it 6.5 disappointing resolutions. This one fell flat for me. Yeah. I gave it a 0.5 more because I enjoyed it more than the Robo Legends solo episode, which I gave a 6. So I felt like I couldn't go lower than that. Even though, like, my gut feeling was like I should give this a 4. But then I had to go back and look at my rating, so I wanted to keep it consistent. But anyways, this episode, like, totally fell flat for me. Like, I don't like the over-the-top Legends at all. I didn't like them in the solo episode. I didn't even like them here at all, like, ingrained in the plot in this episode, even though was not centered on them. It didn't work for me. All those scenes felt totally flat. I did love Gwen's leadership. And I loved Sarah's kind of like deference to his point of view because he did know the time period and he had like better experience. So I really love that. I'm super mad about the ending. If they kill Gideon, I'm gonna be with X-Force. We're gonna form a riot. Like, it's not gonna be good. And I'm extremely disappointed that all the time travelers were slaughtered. Although now that I did go back and watch again, and I had written this before I watched it a second time. Not sure that they necessarily all died. I think there was a line that said they were either killed or fled. So maybe some of them are still out there. But I still kind of felt like it was a missed opportunity if they just killed them all off. It cleans up a problem, but at the same time, it's kind of a missed opportunity. They killed Thawne. Also lots of missed opportunities. I'm going to talk about this all later. Yeah, I wanted more out of that. I'm really disappointed that he had like 2 seconds in this episode and then they killed him off. There were definitely funny moments, though, throughout the episode that had me laughing, so I felt like I could feel good about having that 0.5 above the other episode that I did not like at all. But really, overall, I don't know. I was pretty meh about the whole episode. Nothing really connected to me until the end when I got real angry.
Yeah, well, like you guys saying this one falling flat, the scores are falling as we go through this, because I'm only landing on a 5 balls dropped by the Legends writers. Now, for all the points, you guys were much more detailed. I think I wrote my rating here out of rage.
Oh, no.
You guys have actual details as to why you didn't like it, but so use your details and squeeze it in between the lines of everything I'm going to say here. Because I'm stomping my foot down right here. This is not the best season of Legends. the first half had a chance to be the best season, but the second half has had way too many letdowns and really badly written episodes to warrant it the number one season. I think season 2 still reigns supreme, because from what I remember, it never had a bad episode of this caliber. Like, maybe there was a 7 or something, but it never, I don't remember ever being upset with season 2. It was just too much fun all the way through. This one here that we're reviewing tonight was such a letdown. We've had this full season buildup of the Legends facing themselves, their evil selves, their doppelgangers, and evil Gideon, and how crazy that even is for an idea. I mean, we got so amped up when we predicted it was going to be an evil Gideon, and this came true, and they just let it fizzle away with such a lackluster, boring, and aggravating finish that I can't hardly give it any praise at all. And I'm really getting tired of the Legends writers not knowing how to end a season-long story arc. So hopefully in our discussion we can find some little glimmers of fun moments, though I'm not completely the inverse/reverse Flash this whole time tonight. Because, man, I'm just growling at this one. Yes, there was some funny moments. I chose one of them for my favorite scenes, but just not enough to make up for this really let down in writing. This was a writing faux pas. Like, they really dropped the ball big time.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into talking about the show.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
So, the plan from last week worked, but the Legends didn't know that the robots' versions of themselves are the one that they're going to be facing, and so they had to adapt their plan. And I kind of liked the time travelers in the bar standing up and when they heard about the situation from Gwen and Gideon and coming to help with the fight, but just to see them mercilessly killed off by the Robo Legends was just so off-putting, because we had gotten to know a couple of them and things like that, and especially the proprietor of the bar there. Yeah. And just to see them immediately killed off, and you're like, okay, what's going on here?
For sure. I was really disappointed with this whole decision. I really felt like there were more opportunities to have by keeping them alive. I mean, like I said, it does clear up some of the loose ends of having like random time travelers hanging around a fixed point or coming to and fro. But at the same time, there just was a lot more they could have done, and especially even like just not killing off the proprietor. Like I just felt like there was more that could have been done with him. But they clearly didn't have a vision of him going anywhere beyond this little mini 2-episode arc. So I guess I'm just like kind of disappointed by that, because I really liked that aspect of the story last week.
Yeah, I'm with both of you guys. Like, I mean, to even just have the Legends, they waited this long to find out that it's robot versions of themselves and not really get much of a reaction. I was expecting a much more cool sequence of having them find that out. And it almost surprised me that they didn't know by this point. I thought, they just glossed over it. They must know it's themselves. But they didn't. So I was already disappointed with that little part. And then, like I said, like the time travelers all running out of the bar and then just getting gunned down. I'm with you. It's disappointing that they're just writing themselves an escape route real quick and easy, because there's so much potential with the future storytelling that we could have had of them. Where do all these time travelers come from? Why does everybody have access to time travel? That's what I was complaining about in the other episode. Like, they never explain that. Well, now they're never gonna, and that pisses me off. Plus, like you said, the proprietor, there was so much potential with that character alone. Could he be Alan? Could he be an older version of Gwen? Like, there could have been some fun there. There's so much that they could have done, and he gets shot in the head right off the bat.
Yeah.
Now, I could play our nitpick clip throughout this entire episode, so I'm not. But the one that bugged me here is you see all the time travelers come running into the scene, and they're pretty far away, and you pull out the machine guns, and they're gunning them down and shooting them and beating them up and break whatever. And then our Legends are right there, like 20 feet away, and Evil Nate's got the machine gun, and and he doesn't hit a single. Yeah, he clips Ava as she's running away, and that's another piss off point. But before I get to that one, how does he not hit? He guns down an entire crowd of people, but he can't hit a single Legend that's 20 feet away with the machine gun. Like, I'm sorry, Jess McCallan, this is a directing thing that I just don't think she did this episode very well at all, and that just bugs me. That they should have all gotten hit. And why didn't Nate steal up and jump in front and block the bullets for like all these things, okay? But then Jess McCallan, yes, she directed this episode, but that doesn't mean you have to take yourself completely out of it. Like, I hate that decision. Actors should never direct episodes that they're still a huge part of. I just disagree with that. Yes, it's fun, woohoo, so-and-so, but when they write something so stupid like, oh, I got shot, I'm going to lay on the couch for the whole episode, just so they can work on directing, that pisses me off, because she's an integral part of this show. And to take her out during an intense final culmination of this story is just a waste. It's a complete waste. She should not be directing this episode. And even if you do, we've seen other actors direct themselves. We've seen John Diggle do it, directing an episode of Arrow, and he's in the entire episode. Like, you can do it, and it drives me crazy. So right off the bat, this episode's making me angry.
Yeah, that's kind of a good point. Yeah, they took her out pretty quick, so she wouldn't have to be in the episode since she directed it. And yeah, it was kind of frustrating. Because at first I wasn't putting two and two together. I'm like, why did they do that? And I was like, oh, so she doesn't have to do like double duty with like two characters and all this other stuff because she's directing. So
yeah, it's bad.
All right, so next point is Thawne sends the assassin to kill the Duke, so time is set right. But Robo Sarah comes up and mortally stabs him, and that was shocking that it happened that quickly, and that, you know, just like that's all we get of him in this episode. And then he, as soon as the real Sarah shows up, she's like, okay, the job's yours, and he's gone. I'm just like, ugh. I'm
so
frustrated.
I'm with you. I echo that, because this was a huge disappointment to me and another missed opportunity, I think. I mean, there's so much more you could do with Thawne. Even if they like leave him at the fixed point, there's still more that they can be done with him. And so I was really kind of disappointed, especially because in that scene, you see him helping Princip, and then you get that like little smile, that Thawne smile, and I was like, oh, there's something more there. He's not, this is not really the plan. Like, there's something bigger. And then 2 seconds later, they kill him. And I was like, well, that sucks. Like, I don't agree with this scene at all. That's totally not what I would have done. But
I mean, they left him to the end of last episode, and they barely have him in it for 10 seconds in this episode. What's the point? Yes, it's cool to have him come in here, but what's the point? Because it ends up being nothing. Like you said, wasted opportunity again. We could theorize for half an hour of all the cool things they could have done with him. I mean, Sarah could have had somehow been tricked into wearing the bracelet, and now she's stuck as the Guardian, and he goes off with the Legends for a few episodes, and they have to figure out, how do we get Sarah back? Like, she's stuck protecting that time point. There's all kinds of fun ideas they could have done. We could have seen him be the great manipulator that we know he is, because he tricks her into taking the spot. Now he goes off. He's, I get my powers back, and reverse flash, phew, off I go. Because we know in the Flash that, Eddie Thawne is coming back for a couple episodes in the new season. So they could connect all of this, somehow, like the family timeline, that the history of his family through the future of the timeline. Or I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's just they wasted a lot, and it's, again, frustrating. Like, what? That's just, if I was him and I read the script, I'd be like, no, I'm only coming back if you give me something substantial, because this is ridiculous.
yeah. Yeah. I don't have anything else.
Yeah. All right. So Sarah's plan is to reason with the Robo-Legends because they want to preserve the timeline, and she thinks she can reason with them. And so she sets up a meet, and she discovers that Robo Nate is the captain, and he is not going to compromise. And he says he knows Sarah's, can't be killed, and so he's just going to kill her over and over until he finds out where the rest of the Legends are. And I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting to see how long this goes on. I did like the fact that Gwen comes in and pulls her in to the fixed point, and I like the fact that they kept the fixed point bar a secret throughout this whole thing from the Robo Legends. But I don't know. I think they could have done more here too.
Totally. But here's what I did like about the scene. I actually have a high point here, so I'll dig into my high point and then see what everybody else has to say. But I actually kind of wanted to commend Sarah for trying to reason with the robots, even though like it's literally probably pointless. I mean, they've got upgraded programming. There's no point because they're never going to reach the core personality that they were built on and like actually be able to reason with them. But I feel like it showed a lot of like personal growth for her character, that her gut reaction is actually to reason with them instead of kill them. It kind of shows just kind of how far she's come since we saw her as the assassin in season 1. And we also get to see that contrast because we saw not too long before her amped up Robo version just like kills Thawne, like sneaks up on him, just completely kills him. And so that's not exactly what she used to be like, but it wasn't too far off. So I kind of liked that they took a moment to kind of highlight that character growth for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you reminded me because I was about to complain that this was a bit of a cop-out too. If evil Sarah had showed up, I think Sarah would have had a chance to reason with her, and I forgot that she got upgraded after that, so there is no more Sarah left to reason with her, because I thought, man.
Yeah.
If she had the real Sarah, then there was a chance for some story to happen there, but yeah, you reminded me of that, so... Yeah, I mean, that's part of my favorite scene is the way Nate was behaving, but I agree with you too, X-Force. I like that they never did discover the fixed point because I'm wondering right now if someone's going to come there and take over taking care of it because everybody's dead. So what happens to the fixed point now? Yeah. Maybe does Robo Nate find out about it because he's now wearing the bracelet? He's now the guardian of that fixed point.
Yeah, well, he will probably eventually find out about the bar because he's going to be repeating the same portion of a day over and over and over and over again.
And so Willie, I don't know if that comes up later in the notes, but Willie, we know he likes to do a good job and take orders and all that. So will this be something that he's like, hell yeah, and I get to stop the same people over and over? Are we ever going to come back to it, or is that just he's written off? To me, it's strange. Or you've got a muscle-bound idiot like that who's a robot way the heck in 1914 protecting time. There's just a lot of problems with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that, but I think they needed a way to get rid of basically all of them, because I think by the end of the episode we've killed or taken out of commission all the robots. Yeah. So.
But he's still alive and well, right? He's just stuck
he's trapped in a time loop, so I don't know. I guess you can take that for what it is.
Yeah. I'm assuming that bracelet won't come off until he dies, and
how does he die? Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he's strong enough to break it off.
I don't know.
know.
All right. Well, after Sarah resuscitates, she praises Gwen for being able to move past his PTSD, and I really appreciated that we got to see those clips of him dealing with the PTSD and then remembering both Sarah and Zari speaking to him and it helping him move, and not, he's not cured of it, but be able to move and to save Sarah. And I like that Sarah comes in and praises him, and then, since he has a wartime experience, says, okay, you plan the mission. And I really, really liked her, again, being a good leader. So,
yeah. No, I did too. I thought this was another great captain moment. I mean, to me, she recognizes that a member of her team is better suited to the task. And so she delegates the project, to the person that's best suited to handle it. And these were some of my favorite moments of the entire episode was between the two of them. And so these moments definitely brought the episode up for me a whole lot.
What I would love to have chosen that moment as my favorite scene when Gwyn was going through, when you saw him starting to have his anxiety attacks and he's having those flashbacks. Matt Ryan, holy cow. He's acting so much better this season as this character than he ever has before. And that was very, very believable that he is having an anxiety attack and cannot control it. And then to watch him fight through that and regain his control. It was a beautiful moment, but it doesn't make for a good sound.
No, but it was good.
It does.
It was really good. Yeah, that's probably the best part of this episode, I would say.
So, I like this plan because the plan is to create anomalies that will attract evil Gideon, and they know that they can't beat him strength-wise, so they're going to basically do the guerrilla warfare and play dirty and distract them enough so that the dead Bayrod can get replaced by the real one and get on board and kind of reprogram Gideon. And I'll talk about Bayrod in the next section, but I like the plan, how he comes up with this plan, and it really seems sound to me.
Yeah. Nope. I agree. I thought it was a good plan until we kind of start to get into some of it, which I'll complain about a few of these scenes. But anyways, for this part of it, I actually thought for sure, and maybe she did, but we didn't really see it play out, that Robo Spooner had really figured out the second he set foot on the Wave Rider, I really thought that she had figured it out. And so I was a little bit confused, I think. Even watching it twice, I hadn't really placed what it was that they had overheard over the comms. And so did she really hear the whole thing, or did she not? That's what I couldn't quite figure it out. But she never stopped him. He kind of went about his business on the Wave Rider. So I don't know. I was confused by this scene, but I was surprised that they didn't stop and have her kind of call him out and just kill him right then and there. But I don't know. I guess they decided. I don't know. This was a very confusing scene to me. I really don't know how else to explain it. Did I miss something? Was anybody else confused by this scene, or is it just me?
No, I'm with you. Bayrod wasn't acting good enough to fool them. I don't think. And being the robots, I think. Yeah, I think she should have picked up on it right away. Whether she did or didn't, I don't know. But it was he did a horrible job. He did not act it out at all. He should have been shot dead right on the spot. But going to your this creating the anomalies, and they're running around, they're giving people tablets and cell phones or whatever the hell they're doing. I'm like, you guys are not following all the rules that you've created on the show for time travel yourself. And we saw that it was a big story arc when Ray left a tiny little piece of his Atom suit in history. What that did to the future, it instantly changed the future. Well, all these things that they were doing should have completely imploded time in the future, or completely screwed up time. There would have the impact, because they did 5 or 6 different things. The impact on the future that would have had instantly is unbelievable. And yet we didn't see any of that. They just run around doing all this stuff without thinking about it. It just didn't make sense. It's just you can't. It's trying to be fun, but it's not fun because we know the consequences of what they're doing from what they've showed us in stories in seasons previous. So it's just no, you can't just go do all of these things. It's the impact, the repercussions is immeasurable. And it bugged me. It just bugged me. I hate the loose writing that this episode had. It's just the easy escape routes the writers were doing. It's oh my God.
Well, it's frustrating because our legends did not know that the Robo legends had the flashy things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how are they thinking that they're going to, the Robo Legends are going to solve things? Like, they're not going to go in and replace every single person with a robot version. I knew, we got it solved because they got all the people got flashed with the memory eraser, but I still...
Well, and here's another thought, too. If even the characters that they've replaced in history with robots, if they were to go replace more people, I mean, we're all the way back in 1914. We've seen farther back in time. If they replace someone with a robot, that robot can't have kids. Like, what if this person has a family history through the timeline? Well, if you've replaced a robot with great-great-great-grandma, replaced great-great-great-grandma with a robot, then her bloodline stops, and you still change the future. So dropping a robot in, it actually still messes up the timeline and history. So it's like, you're not thinking this through, really. You can't replace people with robots because there's consequences to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are. So, I mean, I guess kind of like while we're on this scene, there's a lot here that I didn't really like about their attempts. I actually didn't mind the use of the technology, especially because as soon as they show the scenes, they show the Robo Legends coming through with the flashy things. So I was able to buy the fact that maybe it didn't have enough time to like ripple through time. Like, you kind of like when Ray's suit was up, but they do play fast and loose with how long it takes to quote like cement history. Like, sometimes it's immediate and other times it takes time. And so they're not very strict with what takes time and what doesn't. It just it's whatever suits the plot.
Whatever's convenient. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't particularly like that either. I wish they would pick a rule and stick with it, but here we are. But so here's what I didn't like about their attempts. So when they're in the bar, they first suggest like clever things, or more clever things. I thought they're going to tell people about landing a man on the moon, or I don't know, something else that would be historically significant or would like blow people's minds intellectually. But instead, when they go out and start doing stuff, they kind of go for pop culture references that are going to be completely lost in a culture that has never seen them. No one's going to know what the Macarena is or what a high five is. Like, trying to get people to do that, that's not going to mess up history. And that drove me completely nuts.
Yes.
And I feel like as a historian, Nate should have been more clever and come up with better time aberrations. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, thankfully, like, they end up consulting Gwyn, and I guess that was like the whole point. But I don't know, like, that still bothered me because he suggests that like using the technology to disrupt the time period, which makes sense because it just seems like magic. You know, you have basically a piece of, as far as they're concerned, a piece of stone that has magic pictures on it. I mean, that's going to completely mess up history, being exposed to that kind of technology and not being able to like understand what it is. So I liked like that aspect of it, but I was annoyed at their initial attempts because I felt like they should have been smarter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
that's I mean, that's everything that I said too.
Yeah.
So I'm just totally in agreement with you.
Yeah. So because of that, Gideon sends out Spooner and Robo Gary, and so this was smart. So Spooner pits Robo Gary against Robo Spooner, and they are competing, and they go up against each other thinking that, Robo Gary thinks Spooner is the actual human and eats her. And so, along with her grenade. So I did like that. That was a little funny to see them both go out.
I actually liked that too. I thought that was a little bit more of a clever tactic. So I felt like good on Spooner for realizing that Robo Gary was apparently more gullible than regular Gary. They really played that up. Mm-hmm. So, I liked it. It worked for me.
I liked how they got rid of each other. It's fine. It's just the Spooner. None of these actors played the Robo versions of themselves that good. I did not like any of their performances. It's just really, really. I don't know what they were going for.
It was too over the top.
Yeah,
it's too over the top and too dumbed down. Like, I don't know. I did not enjoy any of their performances, except for one little moment, which is coming up in my favorite scene. But yeah, they're just it's just awful. It's like gagging awful watching them.
Yeah, that's what brought this episode down and the Paranoid Android episode. I just hate the caricatures. I know that's the point. But I hate it, and I don't even enjoy watching it. Like, I think I'm actually going to hate your favorite scene because now I'm trying to figure out. I think I can scroll down and figure out which one you picked. But if it's with Nate, I can guarantee you I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
He was the worst for me.
So, our Team Ruckus is in a bit of a pickle. And so, Sarah says she's going to go out and basically fight Robo Nate and Sarah, and so that they can get away. But they're being a good part of the team and not going to let her do that. And so it's going to be a fight. And then we get the aspect of Gideon faking them out and getting them to shut down, and so the day is saved there.
I liked it too. Okay, that part made me laugh. I liked teasing Gideon. I thought it was clever.
Well, it takes Gideon to outsmart everybody. I mean, she's always been showing us all season long that the team has not been respecting her enough that she can actually think. Like, they're forgetting she's the time ship. She's the one who does a lot. She saved their butts many times, and they didn't give her that same respect as a humanoid version of herself. And she's been proving it all along, and she just does it here again. You guys are screwing everything up. I'm gonna fix this.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
And so to close out this little section, we have Nate solving the issue of the guardian of the fixed point by getting Robo Nate to do it by saying, "Haha, I'm better than you. I'm gonna get this cool thing," and then Robo Nate just takes the bait and becomes the guardian.
He's a big dumb musclehead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But I am glad they resolved it. It was funny. It was all right. I don't like Robonate at all. I don't like what they did with the character at all. But I am glad that they resolved it without leaving one of their legends behind, because they had set it up the whole time for it to be Sarah. And we just went through this last season. I was like, we don't need another Finding Sarah Lance storyline. Let's not do that. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe Nate's going to do it, because maybe they can work something out with Zari 1.0 with the totem. I don't know. Maybe somehow they could make things work out. But that didn't seem to happen either. So I mean, I liked that they were able to trick the robot. I feel like it shouldn't have worked because he's not a real human. But I'm glad that it wasn't one of our legends that had to stay behind.
Yeah. Again, are we ever going to see him again?
No.
A small piece of me is just curious how Robonate is going to do stuck in a time point. I'm just kind of curious. Will he ever change doing it over and over again? Will he ever change his programming? I don't know. There's just a little bit of me that's wondering
Not unless
what's going
the
to happen
time
with
rates
him.
reprogram him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe time travelers are going to steer clear of this fixed point. They're going to try another fixed point.
That's true. Yeah. No one's going to want to come up against him.
No, I will give him that one cool scene when he first faces off against Sarah in the bar there, and he twists her head around, throws her against the wall. I mean, he's an imposing figure. You can't fight him. He's naturally steel all the time.
Yeah.
And he's super strong. And I mean, Sarah, she punches him, and she's like, it's like she broke her fist on his face.
I think she did.
Yeah. It was a cool little moment just to see how powerful he truly is. So I was like, okay, well, that was fun. I mean,
that's true.
Sarah, he sent her flying across the bar at high speed.
Yep. All right, so let's jump over to the Wave Rider, and we've got Bayrod and Zari 2.0, and so we've talked about this. So Robo Bayrod gets killed off, and so Bayrod takes his place, and he's the tech guy for the team, and he is not the tech guy for the Robo Legends, and he quickly learns he's not going to be able to get to the computer interface. And so he realizes that he's going to have to get Zari into the picture to get close to evil Gideon.
Yeah. I won't say, like, I hated the storyline, but I was just kind of like, okay. I mean, what I liked about it was that I liked that they did bring both aspects of Zari into Robo Zari. So I like that she still had, like, the hacker persona, but in, like, the personality, like, celebrity personality kind of like body. It was really odd, and I just loved the description of her as a 90s hacker, and immediately like the real Zara is like, oh, I can work with this. Cliche, but I can work with this. That did make me laugh.
Yeah.
I have to take it back. I hate everyone's performance except for Tala Ash. She did phenomenal. No matter what side she's playing, she's the best actress on the show, and even as her Robo self, she was entertaining. Like she plays it well.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy her stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys got that coming up. Yeah, you got it coming up in the match.
There's a scene later.
Fights herself. Yeah. Okay. So she's fun. I'll give it to Talash. She was the highlight.
Yeah.
I will let you have your opinion, and I will have mine.
But my question is, why didn't they have the Zari switch out and 1.0 go in there to play, Robo Zari and know how to hack everything? Why? It makes no sense other than a plot point of trying to get them to fight later. It just makes it's the same actress. You just have them switch out and say, hey, you need to be here because we need the hacker Zari.
Right?
Yeah.
No, that's a really excellent question. I actually didn't pick up on that, but now that you bring it up, like, I really don't like they didn't make this decision. Just another missed opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
another one. Because I really don't like the scene. The only reason that they kept her in there for. I'm like, I don't care for that scene at all. So I would have much rather had a different take on it with Hacker Zari.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. Yep.
Yep. So, in order to get Zari and to get more legends off the ship, Gary makes a food poisoning potion, and Bayrod mixes it into smoothies, and it gets Astra and Ava out of the ship and into the mansion where Gary pushes them into hell. So I thought this was a little bit of humor that I thought it was funny, even if it was potty humor. Actual potty humor.
It was actual potty humor, which I get a lot of around my house with a 5-year-old, but it was actually a bit clever, and I do kind of recognize that. I thought it was very funny, complete with Ava blaming him for like moving the bathroom. They come in and Robo Ava me's like, Gary, what did you do with the bathroom? It just made me laugh because it just harkened back to this. I think it was season 3 when they introduced them, and everyone's always like, damn it, Gary. I was like, yes.
I have to this time.
Form of water.
They're friggin' robots. They don't have digestive issues. This would never work. It's stupid. Yes, the performances were funny, but it's stupid. It would never work. Come on.
That's why I wonder, like, how much of them is robot and how much is like simulated human. I don't know, but
because I mean they're not full robots and they're not full
humans.
Clones. They're a mixture between the two. So
yeah, well, it makes this even more confusing though when you get to the scene at the end and you actually see what Astra looks like on the inside. That does
look like a
little
Terminator.
bit of credence to Flash's
yeah.
Because she's metal on the inside. Anyways,
yeah.
All right. So the mansion, and we see throughout this episode that Astra is super protective of Gideon, not allowing her to go on any missions. And I didn't really catch that until later on in the episode, that I'm like, when Gary actually brings it up, but I'm like, okay, what's going on? And it made me wonder about, why is she not letting? Because I naturally thought it was holdover from earlier, where they don't respect her. They're treating her like a child because she's newly human, and so I thought it was just holdover for that and not something more.
Yeah, no, I actually was with you. I didn't make the connection until they placed it right in front of us in dialogue. So I guess take that for what it's worth on the writing of this episode. We just, sorry, writers, we didn't care for this one, clearly. But this is where it seemed over the top for me, because Astra was just so mean to Gideon, and like it felt like she was treating her like a small child for sure, but it didn't really feel like she was being like a mom-like figure. It felt like she was being like a cruel stepmom kind of figure. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It just, it didn't quite work for me. I have a few more notes about this a little bit later, so I'll just save it for a couple points down. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the way that she was treating her at all. And I also wondered if it was just carryover from the previous episodes.
Yeah,
it just was icky. I was like, no, don't talk to her like that. Like, this ties back to the whole, they're just not giving this Gideon respect. It's the same Gideon you guys have had for 7 years. Like, just respect her. Be glad that she's alive in a humanoid version of herself, but it's still the Gideon that you've known. Like, why are you treating her like a kid? It's just,
Yeah, I mean, we see there at the end where Astra does apologize and, says, we get the mom and daughter hug. But, yep. Take it away, Jess.
Look, okay, I'm with you. It was a sweet moment. I'm just not sure that I buy Astra feeling like her mother. Plus, isn't Astra younger than Gideon?
probably.
I mean, like, this whole thing feels off to me.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Like, at the bar, the way that they shot this scene, and I don't know if this is direction or writing or a combination of the two, but when Astra, quote, saves Gideon, it felt to me like she was protecting the whole team, not just Gideon. Mm-hmm. Because Robo Barad was going to come in and gun them all down.
Right.
Yes, maybe Gideon was potentially the closest one, or maybe even the first one he saw, or the first one who saw him. But regardless, like, it didn't feel like she did this out of protection for Gideon at first. It felt like she did it out of protection for the whole team and herself included, because they all would have died if she hadn't done what she did.
Yeah.
So I think that's what bothered me about the earlier scene, and like the reason for her feeling like, quote, Gideon's mom. I mean, other than the fact that she did, like, she brought her to life, and she did that whole thing. And so I kind of like appreciate that aspect of it. It just, I'm not sure I'm quite buying it. No, I'm not buying it.
The reason we're not buying is because they've never played into that. That's never been part of the story, the mother-daughter relationship. They have not shown us anything like that. So to suddenly just have this reaction and have her treat her like that, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't feel right because they haven't put that into the story up to this point.
A little.
They did a little back when she was first created, because Spooner talks, it's like, you're basically her mom, but that's it. It's been so
but between
long.
Astra and Gideon, there's not been interaction, mom-daughter interaction. They haven't had any of that.
No,
that's what I mean.
You're
it's
right.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. It's weird. I don't like it. I'm not buying it. Like, I mean, it was a sweet moment, but at the same time, I'm like, this isn't doing it for me.
The only thing I liked about it is when Gideon hugs her, it just shows how dang tall that actress is.
I know. She's so tall. They always put her in like these crazy heels.
Exactly. So she's even taller.
Yeah.
I know.
Olivia Swan. Tall.
I mean, I love the actress. I really do. Like, her character, the way it's written, can be a bit up and down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, Robozari is really suspicious when she sees them both going in the bathroom and not come out, and so she follows them in, and she's discovered the mansion. And here we get this fight between Zari 2.0 and Robo Zari. And Astra and Gary can't tell them apart, and Zari ends up winning, but it's a close call. But I'm like, Zari, where's your totem? Can't you... Robo Zari doesn't have a totem.
Nope.
Like, show them the totem.
Yeah.
Use the totem. Oh.
It's like she took it off to blend in.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even...
Like, why do you take the
I
totem off?
literally didn't think of that till you just mentioned it. But she must... I mean, she had to have taken that off because the other one didn't have one. It would have been a dead giveaway if she was walking around with a totem on. I guess. Anyways, that aside, because I literally didn't think of that until you just said it. I hated this. This was the cringiest bit about the whole episode for me. I did not care for a girly cat fight because to me, it takes the show a step backwards. And I think I'm clearly coming from a woman's perspective here, but I don't care how in character it is for Zari. It was cringy. I hated every second of it, and I never want to see a cat fight at Legends again. It felt disrespectful.
And
Just saying.
I totally agree with everything you said. The only thing I liked about it was Tala Ash's performance. I mean, she was funny. She's a funny physical actress. I just thought she was funny. I don't care for the scene. I don't care for everything that happened around it. But Tala just made me laugh because she's playing against herself, and I just thought she did a good job with it. Despite what it actually is, she did a good job with it. That's all I meant to.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah.
I love her as an actress. I do.
Yeah.
I hated this scene.
Yeah. Just, like you said, that the lack of the totem just makes the scene unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm like, come on. Seriously? Oh, that's all you needed. Totem, wind, done.
Yeah.
I guess that's the problem.
Well, why? They write easy, stupid answers out of all their other situations, but they don't hear?
Yeah, because then you wouldn't have a cat fight.
Yeah.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they could have brought in 1.0. You wouldn't have had to have this happen because she could have blended in and she could have shut down. Look, okay, we're going to move on. Let's finish this out.
Yeah.
I clearly don't like this episode. I'm lucky less as we talk about it.
The score is
That's a
dropping
first.
as we go.
That's a first. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So, of course, 2.0 cannot hack in. And so she ends up having to basically smash Evil Gideon. And we get the ship about crashing, and we're on the ground. We're okay with the Wave Rider. And they pass on the good news that after everything's been well done. And so we get Gideon going to tell Gary, and she gets stabbed by a burnt Robo Astra. And I'm like, that is no. That's not the way you end the episode. That's not the way you leave us here, because that's cheap. I mean, it's just cheap.
I'm with you. I do not care for this cliffhanger. If they kill her, I'm going to be super pissed. Super pissed. I'm sure they won't. Mm-hmm. I really hope they won't. I am literally knocking on wood over here. But
I'm hoping they don't do, okay, she's gone, we've got to reprogram.
No.
Evil Gideon. I don't want that, but that's honestly my worst fear.
We finally got her as human. No, please keep the actress. She's a treasure. Please.
She is a treasure. And I mean, even that scene just doesn't even make sense, because we've seen when the doors open, it's a gateway to hell. It's just an empty abyss of fire. How does Robo Astra even come back? Where does she climb up? She doesn't fly. How does she get back in there? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And
it's not like she has real magic. She's a freaking robot.
She's a freaking robot. So it just doesn't make any sense.
Understand.
Yes, it gives it the scare. Woo. I mean, if you step outside of our complaints and look at her, she looked freaky as all heck. I mean, that was Terminator right there. Scary, yes, but making sense? No. So,
No.
Yeah, and like you guys said, stabbing Gideon and leaving us for a couple weeks on that, like you cannot give us the best character we've ever had on the show and then take her from us. Don't you dare, because you're going to lose a lot of people.
So, I will be so mad.
Yeah.
That May Topstein's death. We're having a lot of Stein references again recently, but it might.
Yeah, I mean, Gideon has been the focus point of this whole season. She's been the best part. She's so much fun.
I know. That's what I've been loving about this whole season. And now, I don't know. They're struggling to close it out. They had such a strong start. They're struggling to close it. So I don't know. I hope the last 2 episodes are better.
Oh, that's crazy. There's only
Much
2
better.
left.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I forgot it was such a short season. I was thinking we had 15, not 13 for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, we talk on other shows, we talk about how the shorter seasons are, it's good. It allows them to have really strong writing. Everything's much more condensed and together. Well, Legends
Well, it
proven
was.
that.
Until
First half
2
of the season it
episodes.
was, yeah. But Legends has proven that even 13 episodes is plenty for them to screw it up.
I don't know. You've been extremely critical about Stargirl finales, so.
That was one of the worst finales of all time. Both of them. Both season 1 and season 2.
disagree with you. But we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're the best. They're rushed. That's just what they do. They
It rushed.
they have to have to fix up. The first half of the episode has to resolve the whole season. Then they have to set up the next season, and then they have to make everybody have a happy ending. I'm not really sure. Anyways,
But
it's
why?
clearly their
Why?
formula. They've done it 2 seasons in a row. I don't know. It's just what
but
they're
why
doing
do they
now.
do that? You have an entire season arc, and you got to end it in 10 minutes. It's awful. It's awful.
Yes, I don't know.
Well,
Favorite scenes?
yeah, let's do favorite scenes, because maybe there's something good here we can listen to.
Yes, favorite scenes.
Shape of an eagle!
How are we going to order this one tonight? I think
Jeff's
just the way it
Jeff's
is.
is first, I think, right?
Yeah, let's just go with Jeff's.
So I called this one "I Believe in You, Miss Lance." So it's Gwen's pep talk to Sarah in the fixed point, and I just really appreciate it. So let's take a listen.
What are we gonna do? We can't reason with them. We can't fight with them. What am I gonna tell the others?
Well, that you tried to negotiate with them and that they tried to kill you, that you fought honorably and they fought dishonorably, and therefore you are under no obligation to fight with honor.
Honorably or dishonorably, we still can't beat them.
In war, a soldier is only ever as good as his general. Even in the darkest of times, it is the general's job to be a beacon of light.
We're the legends, not the military.
But it's all the same, don't you see? I was a lost, lonely, and broken man. But with your help, I was able to build myself back up. We are in the valley of the shadow of death. But we will get through this, and we will defeat those wretched machines. I believe in you, Miss Lance. Like you believed in me. And you will figure out what we are to do here.
What would you do?
Who, me? Oh, no, I'm no leader. You are.
But you are a soldier with more wartime experience than any of us. So, against a dishonorable foe like that, what would you do?
Yeah, I like that back and forth between the two of them. I think it shows great leadership for Sarah. We see the growth of Gwen. I just appreciated that scene a whole lot.
It's Matt Ryan's performance again. Like, he has these powerful scenes this season with a couple of the characters on the show, and he's bringing it. Like, it really grabs you when he goes off like that in one of his scenes. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't even seem like himself. Like, he seems like a completely different person. I don't know if it's the hair, the glasses, the combination of all of it, like the different accent, like everything is different, and he feels like a different person, and I love it. I mean, I love that scene. I mean, if you hadn't chosen it, I would have. I I liked it so much that I think I took his next part of the scene. That's my own favorite. So.
Yeah. Well, like you're saying, Harley, there's not a hint of Constantine in this character at all. He has really changed. Yeah. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to your scene.
All right. Well, I chose Team Ruckus here. We can talk about it.
What in God's name is going on in here? What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Watch your tongue, young man. Watch it. What is this?
Wait a second. That's not the clip you really wanted, is it, Harley?
Could you describe the ruckus?
I'm sorry, but when they talk about Team Ruckus, all I could think about was that clip from the Breakfast Club.
Describe the ruckus. All right. Let's go for the real ruckus.
But we will outthink them. Now, our objective is to infiltrate their base and overthrow their general.
Quick question. How are we supposed to infiltrate the Wave Rider if it's both cloaked and flying?
Excellent observation, Dr. Hayward. And in order to circumnavigate this here obstacle, we shall deploy a spy.
Huh?
Excellent. Oh, don't forget this.
A gun. Great.
Now, as soon as you board the Wave Rider, you will need to disable Evil Gideon. You see, shutting her down means that the machines lose their general.
And without Evil Gideon calling the shots, the Robo-Legend should fall apart.
From your mouth to God's ears, my boy.
I really gotta do this alone?
Oh, never alone, my boy, never alone. You will be accompanied with a team hidden in the key, mind you, because if anybody sees them...
we're screwed.
Exactly. Now, as soon as Evil Gideon is offline, you'll need to land the Wave Rider so the rest of us can board.
Hey, what do you need us to do?
Well, as the most experienced fighters, you will distract the machines by causing a ruckus in Sarajevo.
Ruckus. Can you describe this ruckus?
A ruckus that will create time aberrations for them to deal with, you see.
Okay, so by aberrations, you mean like telling them to put a man on the moon in 1969?
Good God, do we? What was his crime, I wonder?
All right, got this.
Good.
I don't think I can do this.
Nonsense. You are more than capable, my boy.
Of pretending to be a psychopath?
Now, you listen to me. Now, I would not have devised this mission if I didn't believe in you, my boy.
Gideon, I'm gonna need an immediate evac. They're gonna mine me for parts.
Perfect. That was good.
Good stuff. Funny.
Yeah, I think we've played all of the Gwyn scenes in the favorite clips pretty much.
He was the best part of this episode.
He was the best part.
Listening to these two clips back to back, if I take them outside of the episode, I would give those a 9 just for his performance.
I would too. It's what carried the episode for me.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this is going to be the one you hate, Harley, but you guys picked the only good scenes that are really in this episode, so I just wanted to go with something that I thought was funny. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is my icon. He's my hero from growing up. So anytime there's someone doing a good Arnold impersonation, I just get a kick out of it. Who cares about the scene? Who cares about what's going on? But I just pieced together Nate's Arnold when he got smacked around, and it made me laugh. So here it is.
I'm gonna kill you over and over and over again till you give me your team's location. Bye.
Nice try. Why am I talking like this? Whatever, it sounds wonderful. Here we go! How am I gonna kill you next? Decapitation? That'd be fantastic to be able to rip off your head. Gideon, hang on. What happened? I thought I killed all you garbage people.
Long story short, I kicked both of your asses.
No freaking way.
Yeah. And as a reward, I get to guard the fixed point of the Archduke Ferdinand's assassination forever. Something you two-time losers could never do.
But we can protect that fixed point way better than you idiots.
I don't know. I got this special time bracelet that says otherwise.
Looks like I'm guarding the fixed point now, you beautiful idiot!
There you go. I just grown up with Arnold. Everyone has a bad Arnold impersonation, so I got a kick out of it.
That is true. Yeah, it was funny to listen to, but his performance as that, it's not a comment like on his acting. It's just the way, I don't know, the direction, the writing, the request to make it that over the top. It just did not do it for me.
The over the topness.
Characters.
Yeah.
But his was the worst for me. I couldn't take it.
Funny stuff. All right. Well, let's remind everybody about our Patreon, because we got some special things coming up for people that are supporting the show. We're starting to include a new section called Patreon bonus clips, where you guys are allowed to send in extra questions to us about the episodes of the week, and we will respond to your topic of choice or your questions about the episode and give you a little extra content that will be released to Patreon supporters only. So there's a little perk for you guys. Plus, we're doing another hangout coming out. So if you guys want to be part of that fun stuff, this is what you got to do.
If you'd like to support our podcast, you can do so at our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/tomorrowslegends.
It's feedback, your time to speak up. Believe it or not, what you think and you say means a lot to us. But why should we sit here and wait if you won't hurry up? So feedback or simply shut up.
So in my head, I was hearing that in an Arnold voice singing.
Oh, that's unfortunate, because the real voice is much better.
Simply shut up!
That was pretty good. I like that better.
Funny. All right, let's kick it off with Daryl Washington.
Parts of this episode were a lot more tragic than expected. Hated to see Ava get shot. No more shooting Ava Lance. It was great seeing all the ways that the Robo Legends got taken down. Did anyone else catch the Breakfast Club reference? Could you describe the ruckus?
Yes.
Thinking alike, Daryl. I like it. I love the Zari fight. I was disappointed about Ava and Sarah's lack of communication. Yes, we didn't address this. This was like Sarah, she's going to go be at the fixed point and she's not going to talk to her wife.
Good point.
Yeah.
Even when Ava was laying on the couch, Sarah seemed really disinfectionate. I don't know if that's the right word. Like, she just kind of stood over. Oh, how's Ava doing? Oh, she's fine. Okay, good. I'm going to go do this. What? She's shot and she's bleeding and she's recovering. That's all you got for her? Like, that whole sequence was really, really off-putting.
Yeah. Yeah. Daryl continues, I keep thinking Sarah has learned to share important things with her wife and the importance of open communications and making decisions together. It was strange to see the robots have digestive issues, but as they tell at the Tyrell Corporation, more human than human is our motto.
He's got the deep cuts tonight.
Yes, I like his pulls.
Me too.
I enjoyed seeing Astra come to accept her role as Gideon's mom, and I hope Spooner as her other mom gets to be in that storyline too.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, good thoughts this week, Daryl. All right, Harley, I gave you double duty tonight, so you're up next with The Watcher.
That's okay. I've screened a few things, and everybody's pretty much hating our podcast and my comments up until now. So.
Oh, really? What? What do you mean?
So, from The Watcher, let's listen to his feedback.
Okay.
And you'll see what I mean. And I apologize in advance. Sorry, Ricky. Hello, Legends. This is The Watcher, back with more thoughts on this amazing season, specifically about this amazing episode directed by our very own Jess McCallan.
Uh-oh. He already hates us.
I know. Sorry. You had to sit through our podcast. I hope you made it. just directed the hell out of this amazing hour that closed the chapter, hopefully, on the Robo Legends, the fixed point storyline that worried all us fans and got the team back to a Wave Rider. Seeing the Legends face off against their evil Robo counterparts and then try to impersonate them was so fun, especially the Zari versus Zari fight with the slow motion, intense music, and the Zaris barely even touching.
Can you guys be any more polar opposites?
I know. That was probably my favorite scene of this episode. And not so much mine. Sorry. This episode, like the last one, once again reiterated the power of the Legends when they stand together, and I loved it so much. It also officially initiated Gwen to becoming a full Legend, which I loved as well. We didn't talk about that, but I also love that, yes. Going forward into our final 2 episodes of the season, I really think we're going on a full Gideon-centered story, especially after this episode's ending. The fact that the writers gave us a heartwarming scene with Gideon and Mama Astra and then immediately followed with evil Astra stabbing Gideon was nerve-wracking, to say the least. I can't wait to see how my now personal favorite season is going to end. And I don't know if you Legends have heard the Season 7 finale / possible Season 8 manifesting it, by the way, casting news, but it looks like we have to say goodbye to at least one Legend, and personally I don't want that to happen since this is my favorite lineup of the team thus far.
Wow.
Well, that's probably going to piss me off. It better not be Gideon.
Yeah.
If anyone were to leave, I think I'd be most okay with Gwen leaving, since the new person could simply replace him and make the team still have 10 members, but also his story could very well be a single season arc. That's true. 10 members is slightly stretching the show a bit, but they've done really well this season balancing all 10 regulars now. Lastly, to end my thoughts, it's not the real Legends unless they crash the Wave Rider. And they finally did this season. Thank you, Legends, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. This has been The Watcher, signing off. P.S. Just one more thought. The Behrad Astra kiss was cute.
So, I don't know if he's going to enjoy this, but I want to bring up the point about losing a cast member, because if we lose Gwen, then we lose Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I don't want to lose Matt Ryan.
So, yeah.
And they just made him a full-time Legend, so it might not be him.
Well, they made Bishop a full-time Legend and killed him 30 seconds later. Just saying.
Yeah.
You're a Legend now. Oh, you're dead.
Maybe we can get rid of Behrad. That'd be the one I want to get rid of. He's just never worked. It's never come together for me with Behrad.
Yeah. It's been better, but I feel like he's too ingrained in the lore. I don't know. I honestly can't fathom who they'd get rid of unless they just write Nate into the totem. And I don't really want to lose Nick either, but he's been on the show for so long that maybe he's just done.
Yeah, I mean, look at what they've done with him. They really haven't given him a lot to work with, so maybe he's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
He might just be done.
Yeah, I mean, they can always, like we speculated, he goes and lives in the totem full time and only comes out, to do the guest star.
Well, they said they were going to do that with Dom, and we haven't seen him yet.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we haven't seen Dom at all. What the heck?
Nope.
Like, you think they'd want to check in on him? Hey, how's Mick doing with his daughter? Let's go see. Is he Grandpa now? Like, I would love to see Grandpa and Mick.
I know.
Who writes this crap anyway? So think of how, like, I'm going back to getting rid of Behrad. He'd be the one to get rid of, because I would even prefer to keep Astra over him, because for me,
I like Astra.
Now that Astra is learning her magic, she's very useful to the team, and they've been doing really well with her when she does have to perform magic, and it's cool. She's replaced Constantine as that magic performer, and it's fine. I'm enjoying that. So
Behrad's apparently our tech guy, though.
Ugh, he's dull.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Perry White. Hey, fellow Legendaires. So here I am trying to find the right feedback for Rage Against the Machines. I'm going to switch up my feedback a bit and get the bad beats out of the way first. I absolutely hate Thawne's lackluster demise. However, based on the character's notorious duplicity and that smile he had on his face when he gave instructions to the third assassinator, I'm holding out hope that this Thawne was somehow a type of speed remnant and a version of him remains alive. Yeah, with Thawne, you never know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, we know we've got the Harrison Wells version still kicking around on Flash.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely hate the fact that just as soon as they introduce other time travelers, they wipe them out. Lickety-split.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that Gideon took a knife to the back. The reason I hate it is, even though a knifing to the back is usually fatal 90% of the time, we know she will survive, which dampens any dramatic impact. Will she?
Do we?
Do we
know?
I mean, that could be the big emotional beat to end the season. We get an amazing Gideon and they kill her off. We have to go back to plain spaceship Gideon. I mean,
gonna be mad.
It'd be the suckiest
be
thing
really
ever.
mad.
Yeah.
However, even though I hate the decision, I do like the possibilities it creates. What will they have to do to save her? This version of the Wave Rider might not have the means to heal a human, meaning that Gideon may be revived with the aid of cybernetics, just like the Robo-Legends. While I'm intrigued by that possibility, I still don't like that she took a knife to the back. Okay, revive. So saving her by putting robot parts in her.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, and then she's essentially. I mean, it makes her immortal. It makes her tough. I don't know. Terminator Gideon. I don't know. Okay,
I guess
what's that?
I mean, she's technically a robot, but she's completely like human right now. It's very confusing.
We don't know to the extent. Yeah, like we know her brain is machine-like or something, or we don't know. We don't really know.
Yeah.
Okay, all my bad medicine is out of the way. I loved the Sorry Cat fight. It was fun, but one thing confused me. Zari seemed to go toe-to-toe with Robo-Zari. Do all of the Robo creations not have enhanced strength and durability? Or since Robo-Zari's purpose is computer hacking, is she not as physically powerful as, say, Robo-Sarah, Robo-Bayrod, or Robo-Spooner? I don't know. Have they shown us that all of them are super strong?
They probably have the potential to be because they're robots, but I got the impression that they kind of took personality traits from both Zaris and merged them into one. So she got the hacking skills because those were beneficial and superior. But then she had a lot of the Z2 personality features. So I guess she also got the Z2 fighting abilities. I don't know. I think they were really forcing a cat fight, and some loved it, some hated it.
Yeah. Robo-Zari, I think, would have been a better fighter. Like, just weird that she behaved like that. So I loved the final moment between Astra and Gideon, even though it was ruined by the aforementioned knifing. I loved that Evil Gideon was calculating and didn't fall into the Legends' traps. I loved even more that Gwyn's military plan was incredibly effective, too. I'm going to rate this episode a 6.5. Even though I feel this episode was a bit of a dud, I'm really excited to watch these final two episodes, especially the introduction of a certain enthusiastic Glimmer guy. I hope everyone gets rested and recharged during the Olympic break. This has been Perry White meeting his deadline, but in a much less than enthusiastic way that I had hoped. I'm out. Yeah, so
we feel you.
It seems to be split down the board. I mean, the three of us were not into this episode, but our feedbackers are half and half, kind of.
Yeah.
So far. Let's finish it off with Dreamweaver.
All right. Hello, Legendaires. Dreamweaver here with my feedback for Legends of Tomorrow Season 7, Episode 11, Rage Against the Machines. I'm rating this episode 6 Big Mouth Billy Basses out of 10. I hate to be the bummer this week. You're not alone. And I hate to be a double bummer since Jess directed this episode, but I was not a fan, especially after how good last week's episode was.
Yeah.
I feel you today, Abby. I really do. This one felt scattered, and so much for all of our barkeep and who's getting stuck at the fixed point theories, right? Having all the time travelers just charge at the beginning and get killed or run away felt like an odd choice. That bar had a lot of potential, as did introducing time travelers again, which I still believe there's more to that coming. First, I know that being captain, especially in this situation, probably is difficult, and Sarah's trying to do what's best for her team. But why would she not tell anyone about her deal with Thawne? Why keep that a secret the entire time? I don't understand that. Nor do I understand her using her indestructibility as an excuse to keep the rest of the team out of danger. She's trusted them in the past before, and this was her arc in Season 2. It's fine bringing it up every now and then, but after everything they've been through, felt off. Maybe it was from seeing Ava get shot with no medbay available. I don't know. Also, the Robo Legends were such a letdown, especially after building them up for so long.
Yep.
We didn't even get to see any of the Legends face off against their Robo self, except for Zari, which did make me laugh for a bit, and I guess Nate for a second. No Sarah versus Sarah or Ava getting to see Dr. Sharp. I would have been really interested in seeing a continuation of Robo Sarah's storyline play out, and she and our Sarah talk, but she didn't even get any lines this episode. And what was with Robo Nate's random change into a Schwarzenegger accent?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really make sense, but
An interesting acting choice? I don't know.
Other than he's just a muscle-bound dummy, but Arnold was never dumb, so...
Yeah. Plan to distract the citizens with random things about the future to create aberrations to draw the Robo-Legends away from the actual legends was kind of funny, but with a few of the things they did, it begs the question, did anybody fix Archduke Ferdinand's assassination? Or did I just miss it? Is history still screwed? No, Bond fixed it.
Yeah, you hear the gunshot.
Yeah, and that's what the smile is about. Although Perry and I both wanted it to be something a little bit more, and then they killed him. So there's that.
Okay.
But the cliffhanger with Gideon getting stabbed, oh no. They do now have the Wave Rider back, but the medbay doesn't work without Gideon. So are they going to have to turn evil Gideon back on? And Robo Astro climbing out of hell raises some questions. First is, how? When they literally fell into hellfire. Secondly, in the reality TV episode, Astro's able to walk into the actual plane of hell. But all we ever saw was the fire outside the door, so how is she able to do that? I've been thinking that, and it's been bothering me, so I don't know. But that bothered me as well. I just didn't mention it.
And not just her, Bayrod.
Exactly.
Her.
So how did they do that? Yeah.
How did that happen?
Plot hole. Anyway, all right. I feel like this feedback has been scattered, so I'm going to wrap up. That's all my thoughts for now. Only 2 episodes left. I hope it can come back stronger after this one. Until next time, your friend Dreamweaver.
Abby, we are friends again. We're not friends on Superman right now, but we're legend friends. Good thoughts all around. Well, like you said, Harley, I hope our listeners made it through this episode, because I don't think we've had an episode where all 3 of us were down on it. This was the first.
I think it's a first.
Yeah.
Sorry. I hope y'all have made it this far. I do truly apologize, but I didn't like it.
But we've got to be honest. I mean, that's the whole point. We come here, we share our thoughts, we bring our ups and our downs. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to sugarcoat it. And this episode, it was just down for all of us. It was up for some of y'all, but we're going to be honest.
Yeah. And that's hopefully why you guys come here, because we still try to find the good stuff in it. We don't just rant and rave and scream and complain. We give you reasons why we feel that way, and that's what this show is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Good or bad.
And we won't censor you.
Yep.
We read everyone's feedback, equal opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The only thing we censor is swear words, so. But yeah.
Some of us do.
All right, so if you want to be part of the show and get in for Legends, the last 2 episodes before the big finale, listen to this.
If you would like to be a part of the show, you can send in your feedback to tomorrowslegendspodcast@gmail.com. You can also reach us on Twitter @tomorrowslegends. We'd love you to join our Facebook page at facebook.com/groups/tomorrowslegends and become part of the community.
Yes, become part of the community, because it's a lot of fun. Love us or hate us, we have fun all the time, every week.
It's always a good time.
Yeah. Totally is. Now, if you guys are watching the Book of Boba Fett, you would have realized by now that the last 2 episodes had nothing to do with Boba Fett, and they've been awesome. Wow. So, yeah, get into the Mandalore podcast because that's where we're talking about it. And I'm very excited to talk about it this Sunday with D-Business. So, yeah, you got to catch up, Harley, because holy cow.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah.
And he was in it, so now I'm just confused.
That's as vague as I could be without giving anything away.
Fair. I appreciate it.
All right, well, that's good for us, guys. Everybody have an awesome weekend. And like we said, get in on the Patreon because we're going to start including some bonus content, which I hope helps, helps as a way to say thanks for our supporters for taking care of us. So, yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget, we've got a 2-week break from the Olympics. So we'll see you guys on what? Is that February 22nd? We're back with Superman and Lois?
Something like that, yeah. Awesome stuff. We'll see you guys then. Flash signing off.
And this is Harley Quinn. I'm out.
This is X-Force 11. So say we all.
Tomorrow's Legends is not affiliated with CBS, Warner Brothers, or the CW. We're a fan-made podcast for entertainment purposes only and are part of the Cybercast Network.